Okay. And previous comments. Do you want me to read these, Alex, or do you have them?
No, I got it. It says show development on site plan with, and it's, oh yeah, here it is. Okay, here we see it on the side. Yeah, I remember this project pretty much. Let's see. You're gonna go, let's see.
If the applicant is here, they can direct us.
Yeah, hi Dale. Yeah, do you want to unmute yourself and present?
There you go. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was muted.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. And yes, I agree with you, Alex. Things are going way too slow after all my years of doing this. Somehow it's got to speed up.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Okay. So what do we? Let's see. You're showing development here. The first comment: show adjacent development on the site plan, and we see that. So there are some questions about privacy. Provide photos from sunroof top. Let's see. You have a few. Let's see. Maybe you can show them.
Yeah, 1 second. I got to switch over because they're in a different application. Okay.
There we go. So that's, yeah. Okay. What else do we have?
there should be one looking towards the rear of the property or to the north.
Okay, they're all in separate sheets. So just 1 second. Sorry.
Speaking of what to unload, I'm not sure why I'm having such a hard time downloading this.
For some reason, the Word files are having a hard time on my end, but that's okay. Here's looking north.
Mhm.
That's principally at the side elevation, and those are two bathrooms that our new proposed deck will be looking at, or they will be looking at us.
Okay, and there's one more file that is opening. Can you see that?
Okay.
So going forward there, well, that's a little bit more of the side yard. And that's part of the shed that's going to be removed.
Okay.
There we go. They're going. That's looking north.
What's up?
So one of the comments was to demonstrate how you're providing screening between the roof deck and the neighbors. Is there a sheet that demonstrates that?
The screening that we're planning, what we're putting in is, you can see there's trees that are starting to grow on the 03 side yard looking north photo. There are trees that have been planted just recently, and they're going, once again, we have to allow them to grow. We can't put in, mature trees like you see at the 04. Those have been there for a number of years. So we just need to allow those planting to grow. Also on our elevations that we created, part of the wall that faces the neighbor's property will not be the open wrought iron railing system. You'll see that on sheet 04 or 4.0. Yeah, right there, that one there, the west elevation. We're leaving part of that as a stucco wall that goes up to create more privacy. So when people look up, they won't be seeing anybody on the deck, and vice versa, or the people on the deck won't be able to look down. Then only the end of the on the west elevation, the north side of that west elevation, will have the open railing system, which looks into the rear yard or looking north, that we would be looking at the trees and the neighbors on the upside. So the north elevation just has the railing system.
I'm just trying to find that sheet. 1 second.
You just had it there. 4.1. There you go.
What type of trees were planted along the?
They're mainly fruit trees, they're orange trees, and gosh, I believe they're just fruit trees there.
Okay.
I'm a little confused, Dale. What part is the solid rail? Is the
If you go back to sheet 4.0, it was the west elevation. There, on the west elevation, on the lower, right above the man door.
I see. Okay, got it. Okay, very good. Okay, now I didn't understand the drawing. I thought it was part of the wall behind, but
No. Sorry, we're continuing. If you look at sheet 5.0, there's a roof plan there. And what we're doing is we have the solid wall along where we have the vertical wall there where we have the cricket. That's all solid wall. And then only the very end, the north side is the open railing system.
Okay.
I was not understanding the same way. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, now you get this right where your hand is. The south and the west are solid, and only the little the stairway and the north side.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that way we feel like it creates privacy for both our clients and the people next door. And even though it's a bathroom, we don't want, there's not going to be a bunch of viewing corridor going on there anyway. So.
Okay. All right.
And then we have a detail on sheet the D1. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, there it is on the bottom. Number 6 or number 8, excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the metal rail.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Okay. And what kind of planting are you using then?
Excuse me, I didn't hear that.
What kind of hedge is there on that side, on the west side, on the northwest? What's available there? I mean, what's there now?
Planting wise?
Yeah.
Planting wise, there's mature trees that are there now.
This one in the north. This one in the north, but on the northwest, they are.
Oh, the northwest, there are existing orange trees that they're a little bit more mature than our clients planted more or new trees also along the west and going more towards the south. Mm-hmm. And once again, we have the shed that's there, and until we take that shed out, we can't plant anything. You can see right in the corner, they started planting, then they're starting to put a few more trees in there on number 3. And then I believe on the next.
Well, I think this is the corner right there, isn't it? Like
yes.
Yeah, I don't see anything. I mean, I see small stuff. I'm not sure what it is.
I don't think it's sufficient as planted right now.
But once again, they're new trees and they're just, they have to have a chance to grow. So they will get there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing maybe one deciduous tree and maybe one citrus tree, and I don't think that's going to be sufficient.
Once again, to your discretion, what would we need? We can put in there to create more sufficient screening along that side.
I think we need 2 or 3 trees or an Indian laurel hedge or some kind of an informal hedge or some trees, right?
Yeah.
Kaylee,
something that's going to quickly at least get above the fence height.
Sure.
Of course, I won't dictate the species, but something that's of course not going to have invasive roots, but also it's going to take a very long time for an orange tree to provide very much visual screening.
Okay.
And I would like those shown on the plans, preferably, because right now it is pretty hard to see what's in that photo. I don't think you need a fully developed landscape plan, but since one of the comments was for screening, I think what you're proposing there.
If I may add, This is Ashutosh Chitnis. I'm the client that Taylor was talking about. I think we have an orange tree, we have a lemon tree, and then we have an apricot tree. So there's those 3 trees already there, plus some hedges that you can see towards the corner.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think that I agree that those trees are going to take a long time to provide some privacy between the properties. I think you need some kind of a hedge, like maybe I'm thinking of Indian laurel, but it could be something else, something manageable, easy to, but that it will grow to 8 feet or 8 feet quickly, because those fruit trees, it may take 10 years to get to where you want to be. I mean, to create that kind of privacy. I defer to Kaylee because she's the
and also you don't have to remove the trees you've already put in. I think you can just augment the screening with some like informal hedging closer to the fence in the gaps. I think it needs another layer of screening though. I don't think the fruit trees are going to provide the answer to that previous comment.
So what do you think? 1 or 2 more trees would be sufficient?
I would say in between the fruit trees, it's pretty hard to tell what the spacing is on the fruit trees from this photo since they're not in the plan. But I would say probably 3 hedge material type plants in the gaps between the fruit trees closer to the fence would be like one direction for it. But like I said, I don't want to dictate it too closely. I just think you need another layer of screening in between.
And what were the species that you were speaking of, the tree varietals?
Alex mentioned Indian laurel, I think, is that what you said? Also bay laurel, Laurus nobilis can work, but you need to get them already in a decent size, like a 24-inch box to get any height out of them.
Okay.
Or Carolina cherry is another decent, moderate growing hedge. And both of those can be left they don't have to be a formal pruned hedge created,
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it would be best to, you would be free to submit to the building department, but come back next week or next meeting with a plan, with a little plan, with this corner showing the existing conditions and what you're planning to do.
Okay.
And we suggested 3 different kinds, 3 different types of screening. Pick the one that will work for you and indicate the sizes and quantities. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Very good.
That we can do.
Okay. Very good. Okay, Dale, we'll move on to the next project then. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, then we're moving to the item number 2.
Okay.
Chapman and Via Tranquila. So who is this? Oh, it's Natalie Oshner here.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, this is Liz. I'm using Natalie's login. She set up the meeting. So
close enough.
yeah.
Okay.
Alex, this is Alex. I just wanted to jump in real quick. There was, if you look in the box, there's one large file and then there's several smaller files. The smaller files were just broken down to be a little more easily uploaded. So
great. Thank you. Thank you.
I opened the individual ones. So Liz, just be aware I might have to jump back and forth between files.
Okay, so let's see that. Let me read the comments and see how you respond. Okay, so the first one is good. Landscape plan is well executed. Consider more significant trees at northeast corner instead of fruit trees to improve screening from street. Do you want to go to the landscape plan? Maybe you can show us that.
Yeah, go to the landscape. Oh yeah, that's it right there. Okay, so we added this view, that photo that's right there. I think, it was hard to tell during the last presentation how much screening there actually is from the existing oak trees because we didn't have a picture from the street. So we added that just to kind of give some evidence as to how much the existing trees are screening. And then you can also see that we did add 4 olives behind that row of trees to add additional screening where that intersection is. So that's the only change here on this plan. And then the citrus trees are spaced a little bit more densely, and that's it.
Okay, that seems good.
Okay, let's see, study gate detail and proportions. Gate columns seem too tall and out of scale with the gate. Where would that be?
Okay, probably the last sheet on this one, sheet 8.
Here we go.
Yeah, there, that detail 7 is the gate detail. The stone pilaster was going maybe 1.5 feet or 2 feet above the top of the gate, so we lowered it to 6 feet.
Right. Okay, C, side chimney on south elevation should be more integrated into structure. Would that be the architectural plan then, or I mean, are we in the right?
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
that one, actually go to architectural 3. I think it's the first sheet.
Oh yeah.
The elevations.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Next sheet. Actually, I mean, you can kind of see it on the lower elevation here, elevation 2 on the right-hand side. That chimney that sticks out, it was sticking out about 1 foot more than that, which is a little too much. So we pulled it back in closer to the exterior wall. And if you go to the next sheet, you could probably see it a little bit better.
This one?
Right there. And then the next sheet has, yeah, you'll see it on the next sheet as well. That will give a better idea of what it looks like.
Yeah, I remember that it seemed like it was sticking out a lot. I think that makes more sense. Okay. Okay, and let's see where we entry seems out of scale with rest of the rest of the house, appears bulky.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so what did you do there?
So we previously had some comments about the post to the side of where that opening is being a little too spindly. So we did change the proportions there to beef them up. And then we added some plaster banding to kind of break down the form of that. Before it was just a plain wall kind of going all the way up to the roof. And I think that was making it seem a little too massive. So we were trying to add some detailing to break up the form of the building.
Okay. All right, very good. Okay. It appears acceptable to me. Kaylee, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so we're good. Thank you very much. We'll approve it at the meeting. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's go to items 3, the C3. Where are we? Here we go. Carter addition. Lisette Eline's, I'm not sure how to, you're here. How do you pronounce your name again?
Hi, good morning, Alex. It's Elenes.
Elenes. I'm so well, perfect. It's like a Spanish pronunciation. I should get to.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So we have a few comments there. Okay, let's start. Oh, we've seen this so many times. I should remember this. So we had a comment about the 2-piece mission style. Do you have that on the details?
Yes, and I was just showing, Spanish style. So I did add the notes that it was 2-piece mission style on the details as well, and on the roof plan for reference to match what's there existing.
Okay, I'm looking at the details there on last page.
Yes, it is the last sheet.
Okay, there we go. Okay. clay tile to roof, blah, blah. But you have to say, clay tile to
You know
roof.
what? I think it's on that detail 8 and 9. I mean, actually 9. I think I showed that.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe on the other one. Sorry. Let me look at it here.
Which detail?
Right next to that one. To the.
You see, what happens is like you say clay tile, but there are different kinds of clay tile. There is an S tile, which is a one-piece mission tile, which is not really as elegant as the two-piece. Basically, what you've drawn is the two-piece mission tile, which is correct.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I show it, Alex, on the roof plan. Like I note that it is two-piece mission style on the roof plan, which is sheet.
Number 3, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it is from your PDF. It's sheet number 5.
Oh, no, okay.
Yes, and you will see it there at in the legend.
Oh, right here.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. We're gonna indicate it in the approval that it would be a two-piece mission tile. These things, it may seem academic to you, but it gets into tremendous arguments on the field. If it's not clear. Okay. All right.
Yes, and I did look into that more. I was not specifying exactly what the style was, so I do appreciate actually your comment on that because it helped me do some more research on it.
Okay. So the next comment is on the railing details, the tubular steel. Would that be under the details at the end? Maybe?
And yes, and actually we didn't do the tubular steel. We did change it to just a wrought iron fence because he does have a lot of wrought iron fence around his site.
Okay.
So we just wanted to match that instead. So I did add the size of it. It is 3/4 inch pickets with a very slim handrail.
Okay.
It's just a 2 inch. So it's a very, very thin looking
Okay. Okay, all right, very good. Round off beams under deck to match existing detail. Let's see, where would I have that on the
Yeah,
sections?
so you can see it on that detail 2, on that sheet where you were, on detail 5. So that is going to be those round beams. Instead, we had them square off on that detail 5 there.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, yeah.
So we show it there, and now we show it on the elevations too, on the and on the color elevations that it's the round beam.
Okay, very good. Let's see. Existing columns supporting rear roof overhang appear undersized. Let's see. Consider updating. This is the rear roof overhang. Yeah, there was a comment about the existing conditions.
Yes, it is existing condition, but if you see there in the color elevations, it's actually they are covered completely with those vines. They show really dark in my rendering there, but they are they don't look skinny because they have a lot of vines around. You can also see it on the pictures that they use it for just vines. I don't have the pictures in here. I think I have it as it was a different attachment from one of our first submittals.
I don't have anything from the previous submittals.
But it is like you see it on the rendering, it is covered completely with vines around it. So there's, they don't look like skinny columns on that side. If you see it right there on that sheet where you were at, the detail M, that one, that's where the columns occur.
Okay.
And you can see it also on that detail below where, let me see what it is.
All right, gutter and downspouts need further detailing. Let's see, at least in the last detail, in the last sheet as well.
Yes, and they were, I wasn't referencing them as a copper gutters, but they are, and you can see them also on that detail 6 on top. I show the type of gutter that we have, which is to match what we have there, and it's a 5-inch copper case style gutter.
Okay, it's like an OG style, isn't it? Yeah, case style. I'm not familiar with that one. Like an OG, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, it seems like you made it through the list.
Good.
Okay. It seems approvable to me. Kaylee, what do you think?
I agree.
Yeah, okay. Well, Lisette, you've been through a lot with us.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes, no, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very good. I think it really helped the project.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you.
We'll see you next time. All right, thanks. Bye.
Okay, now we go to item C4. Let's see. The Marmo Family Trust Trellis. This is a trellis. Project is acceptable. Return with photographs. Mary Duncan, are you here?
Yes, Butch Wells is here from Murray Duncan.
Okay.
How are
great.
you?
Good, good. It seemed like it was pretty good comments.
Yeah.
Do you have photographs? Is that what you need? I'm not sure what you need to show, but this.
That's correct. We do have photographs. They're on the 3rd page, I believe.
Okay.
There's the existing photographs.
Got it.
What is
Okay.
reflected on the drawing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that looks pretty nice and easy. Okay.
Okay.
Any comments, Kelly? Good?
No.
Good enough. All right. Very good. We'll approve this at the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're going to item number 5, C5. Where are we? C5.
There's a planner memo, so I'll open that too.
Where is this? Well, okay, so we don't have many comments here. I look at the plans quickly. It's just the comments were very positive. Board supports the variance, and let's see what I'm looking at the plans and looking at the set. Do you have details in there? Is the applicant here, by the way?
Yes, I'm Bailey Huckalters here.
Yeah. Hi, Bailey. Do you have details in the set somewhere at the end or where? Yeah.
Well, it was all an interior exterior remodel, so I don't know that there were many details to be included. So.
Okay. All right.
Hi, I'm also
Gabriella.
Bailey, and you can find details on sheet A 4.0.
Thank you, Gabriella.
And just to reiterate, this is an interior remodel, so a lot of the things are pretty straightforward.
Okay, yeah, I look at it. Okay, well, we liked it then. We should like it now.
Yeah. I was just looking at, is there anything we need to address in this planner memo, or it's just because it has to go through a CDP, the included one? Nothing's changed, right, Bailey?
No,
Okay.
I don't think anything was requested at the last meeting.
Okay. I think it's fine then, Alex.
Okay. All right, very good. Okay, so we'll approve it at the meeting then. Okay.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I think Kaylee, I think we've done it.
Was that the last one, or there? Let's see. I thought there was one more.
5, right? That's it. C5.
Oh, you're right. For some reason, I thought there was.
Okay, very good. So is who's chairing the hearing today?
I'm here.
Oh, no.
First item.
Right. But we need a chair.
And I think we might have to wait till 9:45, right, David?
9:15.
I'm sorry.
9:15. It says.
Or did we do this?
No, we can get started whenever.
Oh, great. It's different than last time. Okay.
Do we have a quorum?
We can't get to the departmental items, I think, until 9:45. Is that right?
We don't have a quorum, right? When we have.
I see Chris on. He's just muted. And Robert's on.
Here, I'm here. Good morning, y'all.
So Valerie will not be here today. So if you guys have conflicts, just at some point we need to go over that.
Actually, the agenda does say 9:15, so yeah, I think timing wise, we're okay.
Okay. I'll pull up the agenda then.
We're good?
Oh yeah, we have Chris there. The chair is there. Kind of muted and invisible.
I sent him a request to unmute. Maybe they'll pop up on a screen.
Should we look at the minutes?
Sure, I'll pull up the draft minutes.
Do we have a quorum? 1, 2, 3. Is Chris here or not?
And John too. I saw John's name, but he hasn't popped up.
Okay. All right, great. Okay.
Hey guys,
Oh,
is it time?
Here we are. Great.
Are you finished with the consent?
Yes.
We are.
Oh, okay, cool. Well done. Let me get prepared here. Okay, do we have a quorum?
Yes. 4, 5. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think Valerie's not here today. I don't see Josh yet.
Okay.
Gonna need to take off around 12:30 today too, so hopefully everything happens before then, or I'll have to leave.
Okay, hopefully we can get this. There's only 6 items today, which is very nice. Okay, so let's bring the SBAR meeting of March 4th, 2022 to order, beginning with item number 1, public comment. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak on an item that is not scheduled for today's agenda? If so, please raise your hand. Any request to speak, David?
None for this.
Okay. Okay, so hands go up, so we'll move on to item number 2, the agenda status report. Any changes?
Yes, and I'm going to make you guys a little bit happy today. Item number 6, the architect has requested a continuance from today's agenda to the next available agenda, and that is, in this case, going to be April 1st.
Okay, so we have 5 items today.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Moving on, item number 3, minutes from February 18th. Is that what we have up here, Kaylee?
Yes, this is the unapproved minutes to review.
Okay.
I skipped C1 because it was just approved.
Okay. Okay, it seems fine.
Yeah. Okay. Item 2 has comments.
Item 1 did not, is that right?
No, it had no comments.
Okay. Well, comment A is not really a sentence.
Yeah.
So we could clarify that.
House is well conceived and an improvement from previous
Submittal.
middle. Yeah.
Or was it a previous submittal? I think that
Is this the first time? It must not have been the first time we saw it.
for conceptual. So yeah, it was the first time, and it probably just means that it's an improvement over the existing condition.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, which item are you looking at?
Item 2A, house is well conceived and an improvement over existing conditions. I see.
Got it.
Anything else on that one?
Okay. Okay.
4D maybe should just say to the maximum extent feasible. And E, did we just ask for one section, or is it sections? Provide site sections.
Yeah, let's just make it plural. I think it was mostly in one location, but.
Could say provide site sections as necessary to communicate, design intent.
Can we ask questions, or what's the protocol here regarding on my project, or how does it work? Sorry, I'm the homeowner.
For item number 4?
Yes.
Okay. Sure, if you have a question, we can answer.
Yeah, I had a question regarding, there was some comments about whether I needed to do a modification or a variance for my deck. And I didn't know if I didn't see any notes here on that. I wasn't sure where we were going with that, which direction.
Work with your planner on that. That's less of a BAR issue.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't recall that coming up either.
On the regular agenda. Adrian.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. Anything else, Adrian?
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks.
On B, item 5B, it says restudy roof signs, provide more details on how they mount to canopies. I think it should say restudy roof signs. They are inconsistent with the new design.
Well, I think there was some confusion there. We weren't sure if they were connected to the roof or if there were canopies, or I think, there was some kind of arbor or structure that jetted out from the bottom of the roof. So we needed more information.
Yeah, it just seems like when they showed those signs that were mounted to the roof, that they were all different sizes and shapes, and it seemed that would be chaotic to the whole scheme, which is a very nice scheme, and they've done a good job of remodeling that. I think the sign should be consistent.
Yeah, so maybe we should say restudy roof signs to be more consistent with other signage throughout the center, and then say provide more detail on how they mount on if and how they mount.
I think we're leading into comment E that said look to develop consistency in font styles if possible. Maybe those two comments should be.
Yeah, John, are you talking about the fonts or just
no, just the signs placed on the edge of the roof there?
Yeah, that's what we didn't understand. I don't think they were on the roof. That's what we need to get more information on.
We have to be a little careful here. We're just reviewing minutes as opposed to starting new deliberation on this item.
Right.
So,
I think it's fine the way it is. And when it comes back, we'll be able to tell what they're proposing if they make it clear.
I think the confusion was that they were labeled roof signs, and she clarified verbally that they're mounted to the trellises. So that's what we'll.
Right. So, so they're not actually roof signs.
Yeah. So maybe we should change that in the minutes. I don't know what they're calling them officially.
Well, I think it's fine the way it is. Sorry.
I have a comment on F, and I think it was an important comment because really the drawings were showing elevations with a sign that would be maybe 24 inches high, but then they call it 48 inches high. And I think it was very misleading. I was not really happy with that in the sense that they're showing a small sign, but asking an approval for a sign twice as large, but showing it half the size. An approval not just for one sign, but for a program, meaning perpetuity. So I would just say elevations shown do not show the sign requested at the right size, and then continue. Elevations should show maximum signs requested for each individual location. You follow what I'm saying? I think it was really a breach of protocol, and you know, I'm not making any more comments, but I want to clarify that that's what happened at the meeting, and it really shouldn't happen. It's not appropriate.
I think we should actually make that a little stronger and say the renderings of sign size were misleading. And then say everything that you just said beyond that, Alex.
I agree, yes.
Okay, renderings provided.
Demonstrating sign size were misleading. And then I don't know what Alex's second sentence was.
Elevation shown do not show signs at the requested sizes. Elevation should show maximum sign size requested for each location.
I think I would use Chris's language and just have that, and then keep F as is.
Okay, so skip the second sentence and just say misleading, and then elevations should show them size.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Okay. Anything else on 5? Okay.
No.
Well, on 6E, is a study elevation in terms of how material and colors relate to building massing. That's kind of vague. I'm not sure I understand what that means.
Yeah, what happened in the presentation was very confusing with the shading. The shading, what happens is they use hard shades to show the proposed work as opposed to the existing work, but there was no drawing showing where the colors go where, you know, or where the what would be the darker colors or the lighter colors. And I think that's what I remember from this project.
Also, something that they hadn't updated the materials on there. They were presented something different than what was updated on the drawing.
Right, that's right. Yeah, I think they were going to use a different roof, or they were going to change.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that project was not really ready for action, and that's why we didn't take action.
I think our comments are like B kind of clarifies that.
Yeah, I think E is kind of unnecessary, right? Yeah, I would delete E because it's kind of confusing. I think that we're saying or we can just say provide show materials and colors in all elevations.
Yeah, that's simpler.
Okay.
Where do you want to say that?
Instead of E, change E to say show materials and colors on all elevations.
Okay.
Okay. Now we have a nice list. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. How did we say that? Did we say that? It seems to me that we like the affordable building better than the market rate buildings. I mean,
That's in G.
Okay, yeah, I remember making that comment.
Or H, I guess. That yeah.
But how? What does it mean? Ways to better integrate architectural styles. What do you mean by?
I think someone made the comment that they just to make it seem like one project.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah, okay, well, I don't agree with that comment, but
I don't agree with that either. And I remember making the comment about preferring the affordable building, but I don't think the other one.
I would take that one out of the D, eliminate D.
I made a comment that it seemed inappropriate to split the affordable part into one building in the market rate.
Right, but that was location, not architectural style, right?
Yeah, I think
correct. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm not completely. I'm debating that in my head. I'm not sure exactly what the right solution is, but I know that was one of the questions posed to the committee. I'm not sure if we thought maybe next time we should take kind of a straw poll on these kind of questions that are posed by planning to us, because I'm kind of undecided on that, but I know that some people may feel that way.
You want me to take out D?
I think as stated is not correct as regarding the location of whether some people felt that the affordable units were segregated away from the market rate. I don't think we ever made a comment, or at least a specific comment, or I don't know, there was no straw poll, or maybe one member or maybe several members feel that way. I don't know how to pose it. That's my recollection. Okay, maybe just put it like way. Some members feel that the affordable and market rate buildings should be better integrated. How is that?
Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
I think that covers everybody, right? Am I correct?
Yeah.
Some members feel that the affordable and market rate buildings should be better integrated. Okay, the community building appears or is, to me, it seems like a very good building, the community building. I'm not, more than appears, I think I would say is acceptable, right? It was well designed, well, good scale, and the right location. Am I correct? I think we all saw that.
Well,
let's not talk about the location just because I feel like the entrance wasn't in the right location. So it would move if
okay. All right.
Are you referring to the low-cost housing building?
No, F community building.
It was like the clubhouse.
It's acceptable, but you know, maybe if you want to say appears acceptable, well, that's I guess that's fine. Okay, I think,
Good on that one.
I think the rest is very good. I think the eight, eight was a difficult, it was a complicated project. And I think what happens is that the drawings were difficult to read and over, over complicated.
I think we noted that on D.
Yeah. I would just move the order. I would put A, B, and then C, I would say, show adjacent development on plan. Yeah, I would put D, I would move D up and yeah, I guess, yeah, it's correct. It's just like our comments were modeled because the presentation was really difficult to follow. So, but I think that's correct. That's what we said. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay, make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
I'll second.
Okay, second by Kaylee. All those in favor, say aye.
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 And I had to, I left halfway meeting, so I guess item 6 through 10, recuse myself from. Okay, thank you guys. Item 4, SBAR members informational briefings. Anyone have anything they want to get off their chest?
I was just saying I gotta leave at 12:30. Other than that,
Anyone have to step down for any items today? I don't think I do. Okay, good enough. So item 5, staff update.
One bit of news, and it's still kind of developing. It's hot off the presses. Trying to just get some confirmation, but we did receive word from the Summerlin Citizens Association that the Summerlin BAR may be disbanded for various not quite clear reasons. So I don't have definitive information to give you on that, but just wanted to give you a heads up that that seems to be happening. You would not have that sort of reliance on the Summerlin BAR for Summerlin projects. Any further projects would just go straight through with your board.
That's too bad. Those guys were helpful.
So I just wanted to share that information.
Okay.
Once I get a little more clarity on it, I can follow up. But
okay, thanks, Alex. Is there any update on, we had a discussion about the condition of the basement where we meet, and maybe dealing with the HVAC unit in there, or, getting back to in-person. Any updates on either of those fronts?
well, just to clarify, it's not a basement, it's the planning commission hearing room.
I'll second that. I'll second that. I'll back that up.
There is no word or plan to improve the HV or circulation air system. But perhaps David could, I think is it the next item where we are going to discuss coming back into in-person? Perhaps David can speak to that.
Okay. So let's just move on to that then. Item 6 is reconsider the circumstances of the COVID-19 state of emergency. And this is basically every 30 days or so, we vote to continue meeting online or voice our concerns about how frustrating it is to do so and get information about when we might get back to in-person meetings. So David, do you have anything to update us on there?
So just to quickly follow up on that prior discussion. So, Alex is correct. There aren't any plans to update the HVAC system in that room. However, I did convey the comments that the SBAR made to my direct supervisor. And I have also made the same comments to our assistant director, Jeff Wilson. So he and I are going to sit down and at some point discuss what that's going to look like. Because I think that we're getting closer to going back to in-person meetings, but just sitting with the planning commission this week, our director is still recommending that our boards remain remote for the time being. But I would say that I think feelings are starting to shift a little bit. At the NBAR last week, they voted to remain remote, but the vote was 3-2. So, certainly up to it's a prerogative of each board, but just know that staff is still looking at what that'll look like. So that as well as the current situation, we're still recommending that you remain remote for at least another 30 days.
I think it should be noted that it took us about 2 weeks to go from in-person to remote. So let's not have it take 6 months to go from this ridiculous format back to normal format. We already know how to do it, and there shouldn't be that much discussion. Like somebody needs to make a decision, and then we show up. That's how it works. And this isn't.
Well, so Justin, the challenge is I don't think it's just going to go back to normal fully. What we're trying to figure out is how to go back to in-person while still accommodating a remote opportunity for people who want to be able to do that. So that's what we're trying to figure out.
And I'm saying it took us 2 weeks to figure out how to do this remotely after years of discussion about it. Like we figured it out. And the way you guys got it done is because the people on this board stepped up and made it happen. So if you get us on an on-person track or in-person track and you give us a date, we will show up and make it happen. I guarantee it. It's not something that can't be overcome technologically or otherwise. I'm just trying to instill some confidence. This board really stepped up. There was a lot of discussion, a lot of coordination, and a lot of work that went into getting us on a remote setting, and people made the proper, sacrifices to do it. And it's commendable. Mainly Chris here led us through a lot of that. And I just want to instill some confidence and send it back up the chain that if somebody just makes the decision but if you want us to vote on it, it's fine, but you should have a high level of confidence that we will make it work. I mean, we made it work before, we'll make it work again. I just want you guys to hear that.
And there was discussion about doing, having a couple of us members go in for a little trial run, to test the system, make sure that it's going to work before we just start in on a meeting. So if you want to set a date, we can a few of us can come in and do a trial run or something to that effect.
Yeah, and please don't have, also send a message back up that, we will do some of the work. I mean, you guys, it's not all sitting on David, your shoulders or your supervisor. I mean, we will pitch in and make this figure this out because we're very motivated to do so. And that's what we're here to do. So, I mean, we will put the time in.
Well, I appreciate that. And you guys have done, a really commendable job over the last, now it's been two years now. It's amazing.
Yeah, we're very aware of that.
Okay, so we do need to take a vote here. Does someone want to make a motion for remaining online meetings for the next 30 days?
I'll make a motion for going back to in-person meetings. I'm making the motion. If anybody wants to second it.
Interesting. like playing chess.
Anybody want to second that?
Since I'm the current screen share, I'll second it.
Okay. Well, we have a motion and a second. Any
So I just
words under discussion, David?
I'm going to warn you right now. If you guys vote to remain to go back to in person, we have to immediately stop this meeting.
Why?
And adjourn, because unless you all want to come on in and have the meeting in person today. So if you make that motion and you vote it in, we have to stop today's meeting.
Okay, I'll amend the motion. Okay, I'm making a motion that we return to in-person meetings in the month of April.
I'll second that.
Okay. So what is the date?
That'd be April 1st, I believe.
April 1st. Okay. Anything else you want to say to that, David or Alex?
It's up to you.
Look, I want to put some conditions on the motion then, if I can amend that. Like to provide, I think there should be a provision there that, provide that there's some logistical setup in advance that actually, ensures that it's successful so that our applicants aren't unduly affected by it. So,
Okay. So such as a trial run or two?
Yeah, like a trial, I'd say like a trial, to put it succinctly, like it needs to be some kind of a dress rehearsal or a trial test of the system, and then verification that the technology works so that we can do this hybrid meeting format between applicants that are in person. I mean, it seems logical that we're going to have in-person applicants and virtual applicants presenting at these meetings, and we may also have board members that are in person and sometimes virtually added. So we have to overcome that technological hybrid of the meeting, and then once I think we have some certainty we can do that without adversely affecting our applicants, I think we should be in a good position to do it. But
okay, how about any other conditions? Like, I think we want to be on the dais, right? We don't want to be gathered around a table, so we proper spacing and also proper airflow. So open the door, get some fans, maybe
so like I think what maybe the other thing we could add to the motion is that another provision is that we have at least a draft protocol for the meetings that defines what needs to be there and how they are to be conducted, per what you're saying, Chris, like the seating arrangement, how the presentation table is cleaned, who does what. Obviously people are going to want to wipe down that table before we swap out. Whether or not masks are required, I don't know. That's probably county policy. So we need to understand the county's current policies too, how to conduct ourselves appropriately in their buildings.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyone else have any conditions or suggestions or thoughts to add before we vote?
Well, would it mean wearing masks or not?
Well, that's part of the discussion. I think it would be probably based on, as Josh said, what the county policy is at that time.
So the county policy right now is certainly if you're vaccinated, that you don't have to wear a mask indoors. So I'll talk to my supervisor if that's what the intent is, and your intent is to not wear a mask. The Board of Architecture review falls under the same guidelines as just your typical county staff member. It may be that you have to submit your vaccination records. I have to double check that.
Okay, so let's get some clarification on that. Can I wear a motorcycle helmet? All right, anyone else? Alex, do you have any thoughts?
Talking to me, this Alex?
Yes, sorry.
No, no, I'm just kind of listening and being undecided.
Okay. Well, we have a first and a second. I think it's time to take a vote. So all those in favor of returning to in-person or a hybrid meeting system on April 1st, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, well, that was unanimous. So there you have it. Better start getting ready.
The county supervisors meeting is happening as a hybrid, so I mean they seem to have kind of like a model for it already. So
yeah.
And when's their next scheduled meeting?
The supervisors?
Yeah.
there was one this week. Like a hybrid type of thing. So people are attending in person and using.
Yeah, maybe Chris, you and I should attend. We should just drop in and sit in the cheap seats and observe. Maybe it'll help us understand what we're trying to do here, so we can.
Yeah. David, can you send us an email with the next meeting time and date when you have a chance?
Sure. I mean, I think that's going to be helpful in some respects. I mean, from a technological standpoint, there are large differences in how board hearing is going to be conducted.
Yeah, but do they have some members that are in person and some that attend remotely? Is that what it is, or is it the public comment and such that's remote?
Really?
No, I believe they're all in person. But they may split them up in between North and South County hearing rooms sometimes.
Yeah, I was just there on Tuesday, actually. They're all in person, but yes, the public commenters and are kind of split, I would say, and applicants have the choice of attending in person or remotely.
Okay.
Well, again, I'll offer David, if you want to schedule Chris and I to come down and sit in that room and mock this up and get comfortable with the format, we're more than happy to do that. Just name the date and time, and we're there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would also be helpful to have some kind of a like a medical grade air purifier or something to that effect. Even though it's a big room and it probably won't do a whole lot for us, it might give us a little peace of mind.
So just so the record is clear, so intending to making your motion to go back on the 1st, it is also let's just make it clear that is also your intent to at least be remote for the meeting of the 18th. And the reason I'm asking is because I've kind of working on sending out the noticing today for that. So I just want that to be clear on the record that was kind of the intent for the 18th to be remote and then go back on the 1st.
March 18th, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct. I think we want to just give you as much, time to prepare for this as possible, and also for us to help you do that. So I think 2 weeks is not enough, but yeah, I think a month from now, or on the 1st of April, then gives us sufficient time to prep. And so, yeah, March 18th would be remote.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to make that clear on the record.
Okay. Anything else on this matter?
No, I think we're just all surprised that it actually was our decision. I had no idea. I thought
I know. We thought this was just a formality. All right. So then item 7, consent agenda. Alex and Kaylee will be reviewed today.
Yes, we review 5 items. Item C1, the Chitness Barry addition. We continue it for. That's kind of funny. We should have made a preliminary approval. We continue the application for a final detailing of. Let me see. This is the one with the land. Oh, I'm sorry.
But we need to show their screening on the plan.
Landscape is right. That's.
So Alex, just to clarify, you, right now is when you make a motion, so.
No, I understand.
If you want to give it.
I'm explaining that the C1, we continue for the next meeting to provide appropriate screening, landscape screening on the plans. C2,
Right, but I'm saying if you want to grant preliminary on item C1, you can.
Okay, yeah, it would be
Just because
right?
now is when you're making the motion.
Okay, that's correct. Okay, thank you for the clarification. So we have a preliminary approval for C1 to return to consent with where does it say? Just to provide an appropriate landscape along the west property line.
Landscape screening.
Landscape screening. Okay.
And they specifically asked, just so we have it on the record, since they asked what they should add, I specified, we gave them some species options, but we said 24-inch box size, so that it has some size.
So that would be, do you want separate motions for each of them, Alex Tuttle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay. So
unless you can package your bundle. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We can package all of them. Okay.
Yeah. Usually we just do all of them. We don't do.
Right. On Chapman, it approve as submitted, and Carter, approve as submitted, and C4 Marmo also approved as submitted, and the same as C5. Yeah, so the only one that has a condition is C1, that they get only all the other ones get preliminary and final approval. C1 gets preliminary approval only, with a condition to return with the landscape plan on the west elevation, on the west along the west property line. So that's the motion.
All right. Kayla, you want a second?
Second it, yes, sir.
Okay, so all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, good. So then we can now move on to our standard agenda for the day, beginning with item number 1. The Klopp Trust Residential Edition, request of Antonio Zeeks, agent for Diana Klopp, for conceptual review of a first floor addition of approximately 150 square feet and second floor addition of approximately 656 square feet to the existing residence, which is currently a 1-story and about 1,500 square feet with an attached garage of 410 square feet, no cut or fill required, 0.14 acre parcel located at 5077 San Vicente Drive in Goleta. So I think we saw, if the applicant's here, please state your name or names for the record.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Tony Zcase. I'm the designer. I think the owner is somewhere close, Diana Klopp. So we have a small addition on the first floor, and the main thing is the addition on the second floor. And the way I achieved that was to infill that little grayed out section on the site plan there. And that's going to be my new entry. Right now, the entry is over on the right side of that little gap there at the front of the house. And it's kind of
site photos.
We have photos on sheet 8.
And why don't you tell us where we are and in the world too? I know.
We're in part of Nolita, I guess it's called. There's a map there on the, there we go. So there's an aerial overview of the whole neighborhood. And our house is the one next to the pool house. So we're immediately to the left of that pool on the aerial photo. That's it, yeah. So it's the same house as the one next to it, except it's flipped. And that little addition on the right side was done, I think, back in the 80s. And so we're looking into where the front door would be. If you walk up that path right there, on the right side, there's an entry door. So I'm going to infill that, and that's going to accommodate my staircase. everything's pretty tight inside, so I wanted to, you know, add some square footage so we can get a staircase in there, a nice little entry. The color is going to be the same. The color rendering on the cover sheet is a little dark, but that's that light color is what the one we want to stay with. So if we look over at the elevations, that's on sheet. Well, we go to sheet 4, you can see a rendering of the proposed versus existing. I'm sorry, sheet 2 on your PDFs. There it is, yeah. So the rendering on the left obviously is the proposed, and then that's existing there on the right. So you can see where the staircase goes, that's going to be all new square footage there, and that takes me upstairs where that little arched tower is kind of. So that's going to be my where we end up upstairs, and then from there we can go into the little hallway into the bedrooms and so on. And part of the motivation for this is that we're expecting a new addition to the family, and we want to get, you know, make a little more room in that house. So I'm kind of keeping with the whole, you know, all the details, paint, everything is going to be kind of matching the existing eaves, light fixtures, and so on. But we're here for conceptual to see how you guys feel about the project overall. If we look at the, so now we look at the elevation on the third sheet of the PDFs. There, so the one on the upper right, that's our street view. And then, yeah, the one below that, that's the rear elevation. And I kind of kept all the massing to the back of the house. And there's actually, you know, there's nothing back there, so I thought it'd be a good idea to push that back there away from the street. And then obviously the ones that are on the right and left elevations are the other two on the right, left side of the drawing.
Do you have existing elevations for the other 3 or just the front?
I just have photos. You mean existing elevations for the yeah, no, I just generated the street elevations for those, but I can come back with those if you want.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. Okay.
So this, you know, essentially, yeah, so it's just the interior we're going to do. We're going to remodel the kitchen down below, and I think that's about the only impact to the bottom floor, except for the staircase. And
where's the, oh, so the additional 150 square feet on the first floor is that entry, right? Staircase.
Correct, right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're keeping, I think it's well integrated with the house. And it's not, you know, it's a not too aggressive addition, so we thought it was appropriate.
Okay, anything else?
I think that's it.
All right.
Very simple.
Very good. Any questions from the board?
Yeah, what's the setback from the property line?
The front setback is 50 feet from center line. So that's going to be 20 feet from the sidewalk. And
is how much from the side?
Oh, on the side, we got 6-foot setbacks on the other side. So where are the setbacks on all sides, including the back?
Okay, other questions?
Yes, question about materials. Using plaster, comp roof, composition roof. What are the windows?
Well, we haven't got that far yet. We want it to look like the original windows, so it'll match visually. Not sure, we haven't gone with the brand. This is just kind of, like I said, conceptual review at this point.
Are you replacing the garage door?
You know, we weren't planning on it, but I didn't have that style in my library, so I embellished a little bit.
Okay.
I think we intend to keep the existing garage door if that's okay.
Okay. And no landscape, right?
We don't have a landscape plan at this point either.
Okay. Are you planning to?
Yeah, we could introduce some planting for the, for the front elevation there. It looks like we have some plantings under that window. We're gonna put a bay window there just for, to break that up a little bit. But it looks like there's some plantings there, but we could embellish that some.
Yeah, it looks like it needs a little help. Okay.
Uh,
All right. Any other questions from the board? Okay, is there anyone from the public that would like to speak on this item? If so, please raise your hand. Okay, see no hands. Back to the board for comments. Mr. Vertiak.
Well, I think that the front elevation is acceptable, at least it try to keep the massing, a little bit towards the center. I worry about this building, the setback, there's 12 feet between buildings, and is this second story is casting a shadow on his neighbor. And anyway, that concerns me. But other than that, I think it's an acceptable scheme.
If I may address that, the north is to the bottom of the drawing, so our sun's going to be coming in from behind. So we won't be casting a shadow on them. I thought of that too. Make sure that didn't happen.
Okay. Can we see that? What is it? Would it be the west elevation? Can we go to the elevation page real quick? Just wondering about the privacy also. This would be the east, right? Okay. All right. Any other comments, John? Okay. Mr. Pujo.
Yeah, I think the concept itself is approvable, but I have some I have some conditions that are necessary here. One is the landscaping. I think a project like this needs substantial landscaping to provide privacy with the neighbors. So that's one. Two is the materials. Let's say the windows, the round top windows are awkward in the composition. They appear out of nowhere in the front, and they don't quite match. A round top window, it's a for lack of a better term, it's a grand window. It's a window that means a lot. It has some importance, and I don't think it works right that in the additions on the on top of the transom on top of the front door. And the other one, the staircase or whatever it is, it could be just more of a regular window, which brings to the point of the materials. The materials are important. If it's going to exist, you most likely will end up replacing all of the windows. And I don't think vinyl is an approvable material for this type of thing, this type of improvement. So it's just, I would like to see more of either a wood or a wood clad or some kind of quality material. And the massing, I struggle a little bit with the massing on the top. I suggest to wrap a porch on the south elevation. You could continue a roof, wrap a porch, put some posts, and soften up the elevation and provide some usable space protection to the south. Like a 6-foot porch. I don't know, something like that. It seems like it would really clean up that, work on the mass, improve the mass. Maybe one of those doors could be a window. One of those bedrooms could have some access to the patio as well. It would make a much more interesting house. The windows on the second floor on the south elevation, the location's a little bit awkward. Maybe that could be improved. Those are my comments.
Alex, sorry, did you say a porch on the second story or?
No. To wrap a porch on the south elevation. If you can imagine, there's a door on the left. You continue the roof across the south, extended, I don't know, 6-8 feet or so, put 1, 2, 3, 4 posts. It would really make a ranch house. It would really integrate the composition if possible. But it's just a suggestion. But something needs to be done with that south elevation.
Okay, thank you. Is Valerie here? No, she's not. Right. So Mr. Richards.
Yeah, I agree with Alex's concern about the second story one big wall there on the south elevation. So I think there's an improvement to be had there. I also think it's a strong candidate for a new landscape plan. I don't know, I kind of struggle with the color of the house, but if that's what the people like, then I guess it's acceptable. Yeah, those are my comments. Otherwise, I think it's pretty nice and seems like a nice home.
Okay, Ms. Grubb.
I agree with Alex's comments. I think especially the porch on that south elevation, these houses are pretty visible from the bike trail and public walking area behind. Or maybe the apartments are blocking this one, but either way, it will help that elevation quite a bit. Other than that, I agree with the round walk window comment too.
Okay, Mr. Bloomer.
My comment is, I think Alex's comments are right on, and I actually agree with Kate. Well, I agree with the comment about the color. I think the color should be changed. There's enough of a remodel going on here to warrant it, and light blue houses are, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd like these said, was there a color board or something that was submitted with this? I'd just like to get a handle on it. I mean, the elevations are kind of throwing me off a little too. I guess it's like a really light robin's egg blue, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to match the color on the.
Are you gonna repaint the whole house?
Well, we weren't planning on it, but I wouldn't hate that. I think that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, it looks pretty tired. I mean, so I'm just gonna make a recommendation that the applicant consider a more contemporary color scheme.
Okay.
And that the blue is a bit dated and unattractive.
Right.
That's my comments.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I concur with all those comments. Nothing really to add. I think the issue with that south elevation and the east elevation is just that two-story unbroken facade. And I think that's what we're trying to break up a little bit. So
I agree with that comment. I think a porch back there would help immensely. Thank you.
yeah. Okay, so let's see, we're here for conceptual, and I think this would be a return for further conceptual / preliminary next time.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone have anything else to add? Okay, so there you have it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for your time. I'll see you in a little bit, actually.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Item number 2, Frowis
Hey,
edition.
Chris, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Can we go back? As I was recording the minutes from the consent calendar, I noticed on the 5th item, it looked like you had recused yourself at the last hearing. The one on Emerson, 2519 Emerson Street in Summerlin.
Correct. Yeah.
So can we I'm just gonna reflect you're recusing yourself when that motion was made for consent, final consent.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Item number 2, Frowis edition. Request of Don Swan, agent for Walt and Nancy Frowis, for conceptual review of a garage and entry addition of approximately 524 square feet. This is located at 620 San Felipe Drive in Eastern Goleta Community Plan Area. So I saw Don there. Please state your name for the record. For the
morning. Morning. My name is Don Swan. I'm the agent for the Frowis family.
Okay, so Don, whenever you're ready, just tell Kaylee what page you want to be on, and
just stay on the site plan for a while because you were asking about the previous project about being location. It's approximately 2 blocks west of Walnut Lane, about 3 or 4 blocks or 5 or 6 blocks south of Hollister. It's in a similar area to where the previous project was.
Okay.
Why we're here is because of the addition to the garage and the entryway. The project totally consists of a ADU conversion of the garage and above the above the house, which according to staff is that it's not in your purview at this time. But we offered to bring it to you to make any comment of that if you can. The limitation of the ADU is the fact that we can only go less than half of the square footage of the existing residence. So we're limited to the amount of space that we have, and the owners opted for their daughter and granddaughter to live there. So we've added the master bedroom or the main bedroom on the second floor.
Kaylee, can you zoom in on that? Sorry, Don. That site plan.
Sorry?
I was just asking Kelly to zoom in a little bit more on the site plan.
You want to go to the floor plan or?
Well, I'm just having trouble seeing the site plan, so I want to see a little
Oh,
closer.
okay, fine. The new garage is set back about 33 feet from the front property line, where the existing residence is 20 feet from the property line. And we created the new entry because the existing garage was 12.5 feet from the property line, and we're placing the new one per code at 10% lot width or 7 feet from the property line. This allows us to have a more improved entryway to the residence, because if you can see by that where the entry is, that little alcove was the entry, and it was a little awkward. So we're creating a more presentable situation. Do you want to go to the floor plan?
Yeah, while we're on this page, so what's the deal with the storage containers back there?
There's two families involved, and they have Walt has all kinds of stuff stored from previous families and so on, and that's for their own storage area right now. And apparently they have told me that they're illegal, so that's all I know.
Okay.
You see on the floor plan where the garage is, new garage is located. You can tell where the existing garage is. That creates where the ADU will be provided for, with the bedroom above. I tried to keep it so that the upstairs of the unit is quite far. It's almost over 60 feet, I think, for the front edge of it from the property line. So it's well back and less visible than it would be normally. But again, that is not supposedly your purview. So I'm just commenting on that. So, the design is fairly simple. Will be new garage doors. Will match all existing colors, as it may vary a little bit because of, again, your comments of the previous project where you wish to have it updated a little bit. If you look at the photos, I don't know if you have those on file. There's just a few photos of the front, and it shows that the landscaping is quite minimal, if zero. And we are planning to do some work on that to make that a little bit more compatible with the neighborhood. I think that can be rotated. Okay.
For whatever reason, it doesn't want me to rotate these. Let me see.
Can you rotate them? There we go. So again, it's pretty simple, simple house. The neighborhood is much of the same. There's been a few additions to second floors that were done prior to the BAR requirements, but the neighborhood is fairly looks pretty good, except for just a little bit of landscaping missed here and there. And you can see by the front elevation how it's a little bit crowded, or with their truck and whatever is covered up there. And and there's just a shot two directions down each direction of the street. very normal neighborhood in East Glida Valley. Other than that, it's fairly simple.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
All right, very good, thank you. Any questions from the board? All right. No questions. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak on this item? If so, please raise your hand. Okay, see no one. Back to the board for comments. Let's see, Mr. Peugeot.
Yeah, I think it's a modest improvement. We are only looking at the garage really, but it seems like an approvable project. I think this project, we could use some landscape. I understand that there's some hedge on the neighbor's side on the the plants are rotated, so it would be on the on the left, which is the north. There seems to be some vegetation, but this project could use a couple of trees, maybe one to the left of the driveway and one or two on the right, and just to dress the place a little, give something to the community, because there's a lot of paving and there's a patio now proposed and there's stuff in the back. And so, you know, I think it's fine, but a little bit of greenery would really help. Those are my comments.
Great. Mr. Verdiak?
Well, I don't have any much to add. I think that the two-story element at the back, once again, is kind of stark and unfortunate, but you know, maybe planting some trees next to it is the best solution.
Yeah, and we can't really comment on that second story, right? Because that's the ADU portion.
Yeah.
But, you know, 2 cents.
Well,
okay.
that's all I have to say.
Okay, thanks, John. Ms. Grubb?
I agree with Alex that I think this project warrants at least a landscape plan for the front yard.
Okay, Mr. Richards?
Yeah, my comments align with Alex's. So.
Okay, Mr. Bloomer?
I don't have anything to add.
All right, neither do I, aside from, I agree, I think a landscape plan would be helpful, and also as part of that, trying to reduce the amount of concrete. It's like half the front yard is concrete, and I know you've got some kind of storage going on there, but be nice to, you know, break that up somehow or another. All right, so this is here for conceptual. I think this may be a candidate for prelim and final at consent.
Good.
Anyone else? That sound good to everyone? Minor enough? Does that sound good to anyone?
Sounds good to me.
Anyone listening?
Yes, yeah. So I also want to make sure we do have some kind of a landscape plan, you know, precise landscape plan, quantities and you know, sizes and material, etc. But
Yeah.
then we can approve it on consent. Yes.
Right. Okay. So yeah, that's good clarification. We landscape plan to include plant sizes, quantities, irrigation plan, etc. And so there you go. We'll see you at consent sometime.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, item 3, Von Winkleman additions, request of Jason Grant, agent for Herb and Julie Von Winkleman, for final approval of a 509 square foot single story addition to a residence and an 807 square foot garage, including this project includes a new pool and a 340 square foot cabana. There's currently a 2,264 square foot single story residence with a 629 square foot garage and no grading, but a 1.9 acre parcel located at 1022 Villa Los Padres in the Santa Barbara area. Last heard November 5th of 2021. And do we have the applicant here? Please state your name for the record.
Yes, I'm here, Jason Grant with J Grant Design Studio.
Okay, hi Jason. Let me go ahead and read through the minutes from, or the comments from the last time, and then I'll turn it over to you so you can address those. Again, reminder, this is for final approval. Comment A, clarify that all new roofing will be two-piece mission tile. B, enhance landscaping at Motor Court with additional trees. C, one member supports making tower taller. D, restudy elevation where the lanai is being enclosed. And E, return with complete landscape plan.
Okay, so we've accomplished all those. So we can start with the site plan. That's fine. So you can see the areas of improvement, new foyer and a dining room addition, and an additional 2-car garage with a deck up above. You see the covered lanai and the new pool location. And go to the next slide. So existing house, here's existing elevations, existing house as it is, and so pretty straightforward in terms of what that looks like. And go to the next slide. So it shows you the area of additions and the pochade areas there. And then there's our proposed floor plan with the new foyer to give the house a sense of entry, which it's lacking now. Dining room addition and the butler's pantry, and we'll do some interior remodeling of the kitchen. The existing trellis that's off the back, we're going to put a solid roof over that and kind of create an outdoor living space right there and put some new doors on the backside there. And then you can see with the new 2-car garages, we're just kind of adding it to the side of the existing 2-car garage, kind of pushing over in a spot where we have some room to do so on the property. And go to the next slide. Roof plan, the new tower element, showing the pochade area, show the new roof elements and how they tie into the existing. Next slide. So proposed elevation. So our west elevation, you see the new foyer in the tower element, and then our 2-car garage, which steps down slightly because grade kind of steps down naturally there, and we didn't want to fill it, so we allowed it to just kind of sit a bit lower and kind of helps articulate that line right there. So you can see the garage, and then on the back side there, where we're putting that roof over the north elevation, where we're putting that roof over the existing trellis. There's our new set of doors, and there's comment from two of the board members about just opening that up. So we have kind of a solid wall element there above, and so we kind of open that up to kind of create a more open feeling there, and that kind of ties in with our lanai detail. And so if you go to the next slide, oh sorry, while we're there, materials and colors are listed there. So Alex was the one that brought it because we do have existing S tile. So what we're doing is we'll replace that with two-piece Spanish tile. It'll be red, smooth trowel plaster finish, which will be white. Exposed beam elements will all be a semi-transparent warm brown bare. Exterior light fixtures also shown there. Doors and windows, real wood French doors with clad exteriors, and windows as well. In terms of materials. And then if you go to the next slide, or the one, you can go beyond, actually, you can see there's just some sections, and then the last one is our little covered lanai. So it's a little outdoor area, which is kind of an open porch, and then a changing room and some in room for pool storage in the back. Architectural details, you can see all our conditions. We have our eave details, the tower roof details, which we have large beam. We're picking up some double wall details where we're thickening up some walls. That would be the entryway tower. And so just kind of a smooth trowel, kind of plaster bullnose finish for all the exterior doors and windows. If you keep going, I think we have fireplace details, roofing details, fireplace cap detail. Again, that's just kind of matching some of the same detailing that's already there on existing fireplace. And then that's it for my presentation. And then of course, Chuck has, our landscape architect, has his presentation.
Good morning. Let's see, here we have the L sheet. The first L sheet, it's the planting plan and kind of like landscape site plan. So we're gonna pull out, there's a long, about 150-foot driveway, and right now it's pavers, and we're gonna pull the pavers, or we're actually just gonna leave the perimeter course, and we're gonna move on to a gravel driveway. You can see that on the upper left coming in. And then we're going to have a gravel chip seal motor court with some concrete grade beam banding and containment. And then let's see, there's questions last time about this, about significant landscape plant material between the motor court and the house. And I would just point you to the fact that there's quite a lot of variety and heights and density, because, you know, we still have to get into that front, the existing garage. So we do need to be paved through that area. So I've really thrown a lot of plant material into those planting beds that we do have. And then it's just quite drought tolerant. We have a vegetable garden in the back. We have a seat wall with a fountain, and pool, use of gravels. There's a all along the north side, there's a environmental zone. So we're choosing not to plant anything there. And that's about it for planting. Almost all drought tolerant. You can see the Woolco's L, M, and H for low, moderate, and high, mostly low, probably 90% low. And then if we go on to the second sheet, it's just a landscape plan set. There's some details. The driveway coming in, showing their planting, what we're doing for planting and irrigation. So that, so we're covered there. And then if we can scroll down, that's the irrigation as well as the hydro zone. So we're all working our way down the plan set towards Wheelo. And then I guess, yeah, here I break out. Okay, now we're on to lighting. But anyway, we have Wheelo and irrigation. I believe just the soils tests, a couple more details, standard details and notes and such, and that's it.
Okay, thank you very much. One of the comments, Chuck, maybe you can just address this. It says enhanced landscaping at Motor Court with additional trees. Were there trees added, or was it just...
Well, it's high fire and we have palms, but I just can't get trees in there because well, there's really no place the public can see it. It's a 150-foot drive to the motor court and then another 60 to the home itself. So I have some palms in there, but they're shown very, very light. Maybe if you go back to the planting plan, the L1.
And what's in the that circle?
Well, there's a fountain there.
Oh, that's...
And then there's just K-Rex around the ankles of the fountain.
Got it.
So there's a few palm trees. They're identified with the if you, it's kind of, I guess we can't zoom in, but there's palm trees, 12, you can see the palms there very lightly, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. That's a giant clump of queen palms. And a couple of them need to be moved because they're just too close to the building, but there's a significant palm cluster there.
Okay, good, thank you. So I think that's it for your presentation, yes?
Yes, thank you.
All right, so any questions from the board? This is here for final. Okay, no questions. Anyone from the public that would like to speak on this item, raise your hand. Okay, no hands, and back to the board for comments. Mr. Richards.
It all seems good to me. It seems like they've addressed the comments. I don't really have anything to add to it. So.
Okay, Ms. Grubb.
Yeah, looks good to me too.
Okay, Mr. Verdiak.
Oh. I mean, I think it's well conceived and nicely detailed. I think there's way too much paving out there in front, but or maybe you could change the chip seal to another material. I just think that it's going to appear like a, just like a big parking lot out there. That'd be my comment.
Okay. Mr. Peugeot.
Yeah, no, I think it's well done, well detailed. The fountain is pretty important. It's on L2. There is quite a nice fountain in the center. Yeah, there it is. It looks like you know what, 4 feet or something like that. You know, it's substantially well, I cannot read those numbers. Hold on a second.
13 inches for the base and then another 17 for the bowl.
Yeah, and it has some. You know, I had the same impression first. I wanted to see a big tree and so forth, but then I thought, you know, if this fountain it's there and it's as drawn with it, I think it would be a nice touch. And the architecture is well detailed, and I think it's ready to go.
Okay, Mr. Bloomer.
I'm just thinking about, I was just looking back at that comment that John made. I was kind of, can you go back to that plan?
Which plan was it, Josh?
One that showed the
It's
materials.
L1.
Yeah, there you go. So the large paved area is actually 6 to 9 inch sandstone. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time reading it. Is it cobble? Is that what it says?
Well, we have the big circular thing, of course, is chip seal with a concrete grade beam to kind of sectionalize it and contain it.
No, I get that. I'm just trying to figure out what the note says. It says, can you scroll over the note? It says 6 to 9 inch river cobble, sandstone river cobble. Okay.
I think that, yeah, that, see the 2 bedrooms near the pool?
Oh, that's not what's in that rotunda, that rounded paving.
Right, no, that's just a heavy textured.
Okay, got it. So double chip seal specification by others. All right, and so 3/8 inch Del Rio gravel over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to get crushed in?
It's a tan, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm fine with it. I don't really have any further comments, Chris, but
Okay. Sounds good. I don't have anything to add either. I think you know, it's nicely wrapped up. So looks good. Does someone want to make a motion?
Make a motion for final approval as submitted.
Okay. Was that Kaylee?
Yeah.
Okay, second by Kaylee. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No opposed. Congratulations.
Okay.
Thanks, appreciate it. Sounds like I'll be seeing you all in person before too long. So thanks, Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Item number 4, 645 Trust, new dwelling. Request of Danny Longwell, architect for 645 Trust, for conceptual review of the demolition of existing residence and construction of a new main residence of approximately 4,010 square feet and alterations to existing accessory structure, including removal of decks and exterior staircase and a new mechanical or utility bunker. The following structures exist on the parcel currently: residence, detached cabana or guest house, pool, deck, garage, mechanical bunker, and this will require approximately 138 cubic yards of cut and 102 fill. It's a 1.5 acre parcel located at 645 Sandpoint Road in Carpinteria. And do we have the applicant here? Please state your name or names for the record.
Good morning, board. This is Danny Longwell. I'm architect and agent for the owners in this project. We also have Mike Boone, I'm project manager from Two Trees Architects Online too.
Chris, sorry to interrupt, Danny. I think I have to recuse myself from this. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was one of the projects.
That's one of yours. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. I'll take over.
Sorry to interrupt, Danny.
No problem.
Okay.
Yes. So the board is might be a little familiar with this. Back in 2017 and 18, you approved an addition to this project of Accessory Structures, which was a combined 349 square foot guest house and 385 square foot cabana with a 675 square foot garage, a utility bunker, and a pool. This was all done in a style that was compatible with the existing residence. And the new plan is to demo and rebuild the existing residence to match the style of this architecture that you previously approved. And in doing so, we have to comply with the latest requirements from the Coastal Commission and their requirements for sea level rise. So the house will be significantly higher than what the existing is, and it'll be slightly higher than the proposed or than the existing currently under construction guest house, because it's closer to the ocean. So we're about 1.5 feet higher. And the style, you can see in this image, the garage, the guest house is well underway, under construction, the pool. So this portion that you see in the front is considered existing. And we're going to be moving the house back from the ocean approximately 17 feet as an average from where the existing house is. And we're also removing a large amount of deck area on the ocean side. We have challenging conditions on Sandpoint Road that the Coastal Commission scrutinizes greatly. So we're doing everything we can to give us a chance on this one. Relatively small house for the neighborhood. We're retreating significantly from the current position, and we're adapting the most stringent interpretation of the Coastal Commission string line, which is the nearest adjacent corner, rather than kind of a line that would carry across the closest to the ocean projection is kind of how we used to do it. But you'll see on our diagrams with the string line, we've actually gone to these closer corners of the house next to us to just make sure that we've done everything we can to avoid an appeal. This diagram here shows the existing structure on the right. It's a demo plan, and it shows what's being removed. And we're going to keep a little piece of the existing deck down at ground. That's down at ground level. You'll see when we get to the next sheet. So a lot of this landscape on the street side, Sandpoint Road, and the path was approved previously, and we're just going to try and pick that up and tie in a way that's compatible with that. It's let's go. So I guess at ground level, we have open kind of screened walls, no paved areas, no enclosures, kind of breakaway screen walls that allow any wave uprush coming through the site on a big storm would flow through the site. We have one mechanical equipment bunker that will be protected and have a waterproof door that'll protect equipment, and we've moved that as far away from the ocean as we can. So next. Oh yeah, sorry, we broke it up into smaller documents. So here's the proposed site plan. That match line shows the portion that's going to remain. And then this is the new portion. We have a kind of an interior garden courtyard that's raised. The house kind of revolves around, it brings light into the core. As we've tried to kind of condense this house and pull back, we don't have a lot of room to elongate the house. So this is a way of kind of bringing in light into a denser project. We've, in terms of the roof heights, we start out at street level. There's a green roof over the garage, and then the guest house steps up from that. It's kind of a terraced horizontal plane language that kind of sets the project in and terraces it up from the street, so you don't ever see a large kind of mass of a building from any position. It's kind of a stepping pattern. I guess next, please. Here's some sections that show how the new proposed structure relates to view from the living room. starting to show some of the materials. One of the nice things about doing a new house here versus working with the existing is the existing house is really at ground level. So it is really susceptible to, any sort of storm that would come over the revetment with wave action. But also we actually have an ocean view. The current house is low enough where you don't see the ocean from the living space. It's kind of below the revetment level. So this puts us up. This height is determined by our coastal hazard analysis that determines our finished floor elevation. It currently says 19'6", but our coastal engineer recommended going to 20 just to allow room, for mechanical, and also the fact that the coastal hazard analysis it's kind of a moving target. The county peer reviews these, and oftentimes there's some fluctuation in that process between what the recommended finished floor. So we've kind of given ourselves 6 inches of breathing room, and we're well below the 25-foot height limitation by the county. Next, please. This kind of just a planning diagram that helps see the portions that are new, what's being removed and what's remaining. And that was actually, if you go back, that's kind of a good diagram of our new string line that we're using. Again, ground level plan showing that it's kind of this open screened area. The bunker underneath, the houses will be supported by caissons. Next. Floor plans. Roof plan, we have some skylights. Again, this shows the different heights of the roofs. The tallest height being the living room is kind of nestled between lower roof planes. This kind of stepping really breaks up the mass of the building, we feel, and also gives an interesting opportunity for viewing the ocean from different parts of the house. Next, please. These are our exterior elevations proposed versus existing. We've added some color to show you the materials, which is a Burmese teak, a blackened steel finish, vertical teak on the walls, horizontal teak down below. We have board form concrete that has a lightly integrated color to kind of match the color of sand and the soil that's native there. Looks like concrete, but has a slight natural tint to it. We have some sun screening and privacy screening, these movable louvers that slide on tracks that can kind of help provide privacy from like the pool area, or on the west side protect the glass areas from the sun. So next, please. This is the west elevation. Again, the garage, yeah, and then the next sheet shows the north and south elevations. Ocean side and street side. Next. Next PDF. So we've, a little bit ahead of kind of most conceptual levels, which is kind of the norm for beachfront projects, because we kind of forced to take the concept a little bit further to fully understand the implications of the foundation and structure. So we do have some civil plans on this round, and as well as some structural, so you can kind of flip through these. So landscape, it's pretty conceptual at this point, but we have some kind of drought tolerant shrubs and grasses that are existing on the front side, kind of a dune-like native language. There's some interesting existing trees that we'd like to keep, and you can see those mostly in a lawn area that The side yard screening will remain, kind of hedges. We've got tall planting on both sides. Those trees will stay. We've given ourselves a pretty good buffer on the side yards, and the structure is also it's cantilevered with a concrete deck. So we even have given us some more breathing room as you walk down the side yard. We've kind of got some space at ground level as the building steps in. So I think that's, materials board. We saw that. Next sentence.
So, okay. Quick question.
I mean, you can go to the next sheet, but I think we just get into structural now.
Okay.
So it kind of flip through those.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah.
Oh, materials board.
Yeah, one more. So the teak actually isn't intended to be dark. It's more of a natural colored, weathered, untreated teak. It's treated with an oil, and it's actually we've studied kind of pre-aging it a little bit, so it takes that kind of orange, like the brightness, orangeness, makes it a little softer, a little warmer, and then it will be oiled to kind of preserve that kind of golden natural look rather than kind of an orange look. But we got black and steel, some really minimally framed aluminum windows by Otima, kind of a matte black. That number 7 is actually a picture of the existing pool on site. So that's the color of our concrete. And there's some kind of sand finish aggregate slabs in the landscape as pavement. So those, and I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. All right, questions from the board? This is, again, conceptual review. No questions? I had a couple. Let's see here. Let's do this one. I think you said basically out by the street was remaining, but I noticed that this says reconfigured motor court. Is there a?
Well, it's very slight. This was approved, kind of this island and these dunes in the front and the drive-through. We met with fire on this, and they wanted they wanted the drive-through, and they wanted a little wider. And our path where it says number 3 there, that's just changed slightly from what was approved previously.
Okay.
And the pathway kind of up to the front door, it's been adjusted slightly from what is currently approved. So we're just noting that it's there's some slight variations to what was approved previously as we further the design for the front entry of the new house.
Got it. And the courtyard's not shown here, but
that's true.
Maybe I can go to, where is it?
Yeah.
Maybe it's in the second one.
Yeah.
Right here, I guess. Is that
right? Yeah, exactly. And that would be kind of a water feature wall and some planting and a light well. So that's open to above. It's actually exterior space.
Right. The question is, it's not open to down below though, right? It's
no,
elevated.
It's lifted. So it's essentially like a green roof. I mean, it's a built up planter that's floating above the ground.
What kind of soil profile do you get?
We'll get about we'll have about 18 inches to 2 feet. Yeah.
Okay. And does that show up in the? I guess you wouldn't see it at all, right? Because you're skirted.
No, it's in there, like right there with the front door, in the middle elevation. Yeah, right in there. You would see it there up as you're standing there at the front door. You could see into that area, but from below, it's the same profile. We have a pretty slick, thick slab there. So,
okay. Yeah. All right. So any other questions from anyone? Okay, is there anyone from the public who would like to speak on this item? If so, please raise your hand, which I can't see anything. There we go. Okay, see no hands. Back to the board then for comments, starting with Mr. Peugeot.
Mr. Chair, this is easy. This is a very well conceived, designed and presented project. I have no issues with it.
Okay, Mr. Verdiak.
Well, I like it a lot. It's really well thought out, and it's gonna be a very livable space. If we would go to the conceptual perspective that shows the north elevation, above the garage, you have a green roof on the garage. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, I mean, it seems for all the, it just seems to me that either you could either increase the overhang a little. I know it's facing north, but it just seems like we're looking into a lot of glass into somebody's bedroom, and it could be thought about some way to reduce that appearance either by extending the overhang a little bit or
well, John, this is a portion that's already built, right?
Yeah, that is. It's should have clarified that section with the garage and the building above it and the green roof back to the pool is the existing portion.
So let's see.
To the trellis, you can see in that.
Well, anyway, my comment was that when you go down that road and see that much glass, it seems like you're looking into somebody's bedroom all the time, and I think it could be somehow modified with a little trellis or overhang or something like that. That'd be my comment. I think that the house and the development, the overall development is really excellent, and it's great to see that.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Let's see, Mr. Richards.
I agree with Alex. I think it's a great project. The architecture is beautiful. Seems very appropriate for the area, and don't really have anything to add to it other than it's great work. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Bloomer.
Take a bite of my breakfast. No, it's same. I don't have any comments. Great project.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't have anything to add really. I mean, the landscape plan is a little underdeveloped, so we need a lot more information there. But otherwise, you're definitely on the right track. This is here for conceptual, so I think return. Do you have to go anywhere else?
No, I mean when we return for prelim final, it will be after we go to the ZA. After.
Yeah. So CDH. So this would be, if you guys are good with it, you could say come back for preliminary after action on the CDH.
Okay, that's what we'll do. Is it possible to do preliminary final?
Yeah.
Okay, how's the board feel about that?
Sounds good to me.
Yep. Okay, there you go.
I think really maybe we should make some comments about your landscape, Chris, just to make sure that they come back with some clear direction.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, they know what to do.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I realize that. We'll come back with full landscape plan at that time. And
yeah, planting, irrigation, wheelo, etc. And I don't know if this is, is that a big humongous lawn over there?
Yeah, it's existing there. So we just patch it in as we remove some of the deck that's down there. Okay, otherwise that outline is what's there.
Okay, pretty massive. Okay, well, I
Do,
mean,
do, do you want to make a comment about that?
I would almost say reduce the lawn. I mean, that's a lot of lawn. And it's probably great for events and whatnot, but not for water use.
Yeah, Mike, I would add a comment too, is that I'm not really, I'm fine with like just conventional plantings on the street side, on the Sandpoint side of the house. Maybe, you know, I don't really have anything to add about the side yards, but I prefer to see projects along this frontage use like kind of a mellowed out palette towards the beach. It's, I don't know how to describe this, maybe landscape architects, but something more indigenous and natural, so it feels like more connected to the I mean, like Robin Donaldson just showed us a project with sand, which is pretty much what you have. You know, there's not a lot of planted material. I don't know what would normally be.
Yeah, if you notice on our renderings, we are pointing to a more wild landscape or a natural landscape. That are reflected in this landscape design.
Well, I don't want to say just leave it sand, just like the beach, but there's some way, maybe one of the landscape architects.
It's here. I mean,
it's better.
It's called out like it's dune plantings, really salt tolerant shrubs and grasses, just like they have called out. So I think they're on the right track.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then what's going on here? Is this some kind of
yeah, no, it shouldn't be blue, but there's a double revetment that's existing, kind of an older one along the beach and a newer one that went in. It's the point of contention with the Coastal Commission. It went in during the 80s during an emergency, and that's all existing. So we're not proposing to modify that in any way.
That existing bridge too?
Yeah, it's a kind of a boardwalk that takes you to the beach.
Okay.
Make sure that your next presentation extends this site plan towards the ocean more, so we can complete the whatever hell's going on there.
Yeah, for the landscape.
I get the drawing over to the other side of the two revetments at least. Yeah.
There it is on the survey.
There you go. Yeah.
The survey sheet, I think next page had it.
I was just to see if okay.
Page 2. Yeah.
Good. Any other last minute comments from anyone? So this would be, again, to clarify, after you go wherever you're going for your CDP, I think you said, the return for prelim and final full board.
Okay.
Okay, good. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So moving on to our final item of the day. I don't know if Kaylee.
Ours is starting.
Sorry. Oh, Kaylee's needing to get back in here. Okay.
I'll take care of it.
So this is Laraldi edition, I believe. A request of Antonio Ziquez, agent for Adrian and Christina Laralde, for conceptual review of an addition of approximately 62 square feet, I assume, and remodel of approximately 1,488 square feet to the existing residence, and a deck addition of approximately 814 square feet. It's a two-story residence, no cut or fill, 0.22 acre parcel located at 2606 Dorking Place in Mission Canyon. Do we have the applicant here? If so, please state your name for the record.
Here I am, Tony Ziquez, the designer for the project. Attending is Adrian Laraldi, the owner. So Adrian and his wife purchased this property recently, and they started a kind of a remodeling effort. So that's where the big square footage comes from on the agenda. But part of that includes extending this deck out towards Dorking, because the property is kind of sloped, and so the front yard is really not very usable. So we thought of building a deck out there, and I think there's some views in that direction and so on. So we're actually here because we're applying for a modification to allow this deck to encroach into the front setback by a certain distance. And then the 62 square foot addition to the house is where we're filling in that little corner there and that little corner there. Yeah, so that the main, I guess the main thing to look at today is how that deck looks. The colors, well, of the house, we want to change that color. I just found out, but I didn't have time to change my elevations. But the color is going to be more of a white.
It's Don Edwards Latte Froth, to be exact.
Okay.
So not green?
Colors
No.
shown here. So the question now is whether we need a mod or a variance. I think we're working with staff to figure that out exactly. And I think part of it will be determined today by what the board thinks. Well, we're going to use cable railing for the deck. The closest it gets to the street in this design is we're about 13.3 from the right of way, and the ground does drop off. We at the edge of the deck, we're about 5 feet high from the grade right there. Yeah.
Do you have any photos?
We have photos on the neck on let's see, 1, 2. On the 5th sheet, I think we have a sheet of photos. Is that it? Yeah.
So this is.
We have some site photos. I don't know where those came from. That's the site there. But my sheet 6 has some neighborhood photos and aerials and so on.
Okay.
There's the house. Okay, that's the I guess that's a survey sheet that was included. So you can see there's a lot of vegetation over there at the lower left corner of the property, and there's some landscaping here and there. But the front of the house on the Dorking side is kind of plain, and so that's what we want to infill that with that deck.
So we don't really have photos. This is as close as we have to photos, right?
Well, I think if we scroll up to a couple previous, the one before this one, probably.
I'm not. This is only 6 sheets.
There were photos that were submitted to our planner, Kevin, but he had mentioned that he didn't have a chance to get all of them uploaded to you guys. But I thought, Tony, you had some additional photos, or no, we don't?
Yeah, I had some on my submittal sheets. So I don't know what happened to it. It was the last sheet of the submittals.
Yeah, we don't have it. Do you have it in front of you? We could let you share your screen.
I have some.
I don't have it in front of me, but I can get it.
Well, I think I have the photos that I took, and I can share those. Let me just pull up what I emailed to Kevin, and I can share my screen.
While we're on this photo, if you zoom in, there's a little structure on the upper right side of the house, and that there it is down there, right there. Just go there. On the upper right of the house, and that is apparently the previous owner built a like a cat exercise area, so he wouldn't get eaten by coyotes and so on. So that's there, and we were thinking of just turning that into some kind of a trellis element. Not sure if that's worth the trouble to keep that, because it looks like obviously it's right up to the property line. So,
but for cat training to defend itself.
It's kind of like a cat cage.
Well, I think the previous owner called it a terrarium. And I don't even know if that's the correct word that you would use to describe it. But that was what she called it.
That was kind of an afterthought. We're going to see if we could keep it.
But what we want to do is just have it still be a trellis, because we're going to have, if you see in the drawings, there's going to be French doors that open up there in that back bedroom where there's a window. We're going to put French doors there and then have that turn into a trellis, and it would make it a more usable space, and it would look obviously aesthetically a lot better than having a
If we look at the
prairie.
So where is this? Is it here? Which one are we talking about? Is this thing?
No, that's my neighbor's property.
Right.
It's attached to the house.
Oh,
right there.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. I was looking at these two things going, all right.
Yeah, that's somebody
So,
else. Yeah.
do we have pictures or not?
Yeah, that's what I'm pulling up right now. Sorry.
So David, I don't seem to be able to make Adrian, screen share. Maybe if I stop sharing.
No, I had done it already. He should have
Oh,
the
you did?
ability.
Okay.
Okay, so give me a second here.
So if I understand this correctly, there is a modification request for a deck or something like that. Is that what?
Yeah, the deck, that deck right there encroaches into the front setback. The lot is severely constrained because we have 2 front yards.
So is the deck on the north side, right?
The deck is on the south side.
South side.
The south side.
Right here. So what's the reason? I'll just start questions then. Why push the deck out and go through all this? I mean, where's the line that it would be allowed to go to?
Well, yeah, if we look at the site plan, you can see the setback line, right?
The house itself sits in part of the setback, so I'm completely constrained. There's no other option.
So you wouldn't be able to have a deck out front.
No, I wouldn't. And all my neighbors around me in the surrounding neighborhoods have similar types of decks that go all the way out to the edge. They look very nice. I think it's aesthetically would fit into the neighborhood as well. But yeah, and then the other thing is that space right now is grass, and rather than have that be landscape, I'd rather just have this deck to have a more nice usable space.
How high from the what's it? Do you have a section, and the elevation seems to be indicate that it's on grade, but it's not really on grade. It's elevated, right?
So Alex, at the deck edge, we calculated it's gonna be about 5 feet.
It's 5 feet, 5 feet from the grade where the hand is there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I see. Okay, and you're going up with, I think you're going to need more steps than that then.
Yeah, 5 feet would be 10 steps or so.
Let me know when you want me to share my screen, and because it'll interrupt you.
Go ahead. I'll stop.
Okay. Oh no, it wants me to, because I've got a Mac, and to give me the rights, it wants me to open this up, quit, and restart. So it's going to kick me out, and then I'm going to come back in, I guess. Let me see.
Tony, you don't have any?
Yeah, I'm looking for something here.
Can you email them to Tony real quick?
Oh yeah. What I'll do, Tony, is I'll. Oh, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like it worked. Okay, so if you see that now, so that's the backyard. There's a fig tree there, and that's that trellis back area that we were talking about. And then
the front yard with a 5 foot deck elevation is the one where you want the modification.
Okay, so here's the front yard where I'm requesting the modification. So right now, as you can see, there's this lawn here, and what we'd like to do is to request to have this deck come out and just more or less from one edge of the house here, where we're going to expand from the kitchen to this other bedroom, the deck would extend out about 13 feet.
So you're changing your front door location also?
The front door would change, yes. So where that large bay window sort of is in the middle there, that would become a front door. And it would be a pivot door.
Okay. All right, is that all the photos? There's one more.
Well, this one just gives you a little more perspective to see kind of the landscaping, and there's some existing trees here. There's a nice oak here that obviously I would like to keep. And this area has some succulents, and the ground cover here is pretty natural and kind of fits in with the area. So I'd like to kind of keep that as is. But I feel like this area here, rather than continue with grass and really, I don't think it's a good use of water to have this deck be able to make this space more usable.
Okay. All right. So I'll share. And we'll go back to plans. What's going on?
Are we ready for questions?
Yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to? Is that your entire presentation?
I think that's the gist of it.
Okay.
Other than, I don't know if you you have any questions about the materials that we're going to be using to, because we're going to be replacing windows and doors, etc. But we can talk about that as well. If you have questions.
Yes, please describe the materials.
Yeah, so we're going to be replacing the windows with clad windows with an aluminum exterior, a black anodized exterior by a company called Geldwin. They're Proline. So the existing windows right now, they need to be refreshed for sure. The whole design of the house is really to try to fall in line with this sort of mid-century modern theme, which a lot of the homes in the area kind of follow in that theme. That's again why we want to kind of stick with the white exterior. And then also at the same time with the deck, I think it's worth noting that we're planning to use a composite material by a company called Cali Bamboo instead of wood. That will wrap around the front and the side. And then I think I mentioned to you the exterior will be repainted with this Dunn Edwards Latte Froth, which is just like a nice white. So you'll have that white, you'll have the black exterior windows. We are going to replace the garage door with a more modern looking glass garage door. The front door will also be a mahogany pivot front door, probably by Anderson. And then I think Tony may have submitted to you some of the exterior light fixture samples that we're going to be using, but if he hasn't, we can get those.
No, we only have these 6 sheets. That's it.
Okay. Question: Are you in the high fire zone?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
So what are you doing with the deck then?
Well, the decking material is fire resistant because it's this composite. I did get a note from the zone, I think it was a planning department, or planning, that it did meet the fire requirements of a high fire material.
But don't you need a skirt under the deck?
Tony, do you want to comment on that?
Well, we're still kind of, it's very conceptual at this point, but yeah, we would put a skirting on the deck to at least so you could see.
And then the posts and all that is going to be what, fire resistant wood, or what are you going to do?
On there.
You have posts. It looks like wood posts and a wood top rail, and then I'm not sure if it's cable railing or what you're doing. Yeah, cable railing, right?
Cable railing, yes.
Yeah. So you're going to use a steel post. I mean, have you thought about that? About the
Well, underneath the deck will be 8x8 or 6x6 is whatever we need, and then the railing obviously is going to be metal, and then the deck will be a fire rated material.
So you're going with heavy timber. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Other questions? All right. No questions from anyone?
I have a question. So when you're on the street, you're going to be looking up at the bottom of this deck. So there's going to be a skirt all around the deck?
Correct.
Yeah, we would have that, right.
And how much is that? About 2 or 3 feet, or
5 feet?
5 feet?
Yes.
That's quite a bit.
Is there going to be any new landscaping in the front of the house or anywhere?
So what we'll do in the front is the deck will more or less cover that front area. And what we'll do is maybe just sort of trim and clean up some of the oak tree in the front. There's some palm trees there. There's some succulents there. So we'll just more or less clean that space up as much as we can, but we didn't have plans to radically change it.
All right, any other questions?
Just to clarify, the deck, as it extends, I guess, to the south, that is where it's 5 feet out of the ground, or from the street to the top of the deck is 5 feet out of the ground, or 5 feet of elevation change?
It'll be 5 feet from grade. It'll be 13 feet back from the street.
Out here at the deck.
Right.
So you have 10 risers.
That topography is not accurate right there. That was just kind of.
Right.
Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify. So you'll have like somewhere around 8 to 10 risers going up onto that deck.
Well, from the street,
It just isn't looking like that in the plans.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's 5 feet from, at this point, you're gonna need 10 steps-ish, 9 or 10.
Maybe it's less than 10 or less than 5 in the middle. It just doesn't seem to make sense.
So 576 and your finished floor is 585. So you're basically, 9 feet
From the street.
from the street.
Is that a retaining wall along the street there?
Yeah, I think that.
That is.
And then along the side there, that's existing is like a concrete ramp that I'd assume you'd rip out.
The side, yeah, that's where the steps are.
Well, we haven't fully thought this through, but we're originally we were thinking of to remove that, rip that out, and then have the entrance come here through the middle as it's drawn. We're sort of debating on whether or not we just keep that as is and have that entryway come in and then just make kind of a right turn towards the deck. So that's not been totally finalized, and I'm open to anyone here's thoughts on that as well.
I think we just need some clarity on how many risers, because I think those stairs might extend pretty close to the street for how many risers you're going to need.
Yeah, you're going to need about 18 steps from the street to the deck. And you're showing about 5 or 6, looks like. So you got some.
If we kept the original entrance here as is, which we can do that, would that be suffice?
Well, I mean,
you'll still need that many risers to get up there.
Yeah, we're going to be too high at that point. We'll need some more.
Yeah, you don't have enough room there. So you mean pull the deck back and you might be able to make it work, but that's something you guys need to look into.
Okay.
But there's definitely some work to be done here. So any other questions?
Yeah, how wide is this deck? I don't see a dimension on it. In the north-south direction.
North-south, like here?
Well, yeah, what's the width of the deck, extending out into the setback?
The deck extends towards Dorking. It's 13 and a half feet.
From here or from here?
From the back, from there.
Right there. That's 13 and a half feet, John.
Right.
So then to the street is only another 10 or so, 11.
The street is another 13 feet.
13 feet to the street from there.
And those aren't even. This is not the same as that. Oh, to the street, maybe how this is the edge of the street. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the retaining wall is back. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
I have a question. Is the garage door all glass?
Not all glass. It would be, I can send you a link of it. There's it's like a couple glass panels and then some wood, a combo kind of.
Yeah, it's glass panels.
Glass panels going all the way from top to bottom, or
top to bottom, yes.
You can see on the elevations what that looks like a little better.
We're ready for comments, Mr. Chair.
We're getting there. We got to do public comment first, but we're still within questions. Are there any other questions? Don't think so. Okay, so public comment, we have a hand raised, Chris Moore, and he's the only person. So Chris, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, you'll have 2 minutes
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
I'm the interior designer on the project, and I just, regarding this deck, I want to clarify a little bit. It is the deck, the top of the deck is not really going to be that tall based on the grade. If you look at the grade lines on the survey, it's showing that it drops maybe 5 or 6 feet, but because of the depth of that comes out from the house, the 13 and a half feet, the front apron would not be 5 feet tall. So I think what we need to do is get a real handle on exactly from street level how tall that would be, and maybe show that in an elevation. The deck spans the whole width of the front, plus I think it's about 6 feet on the side. It's to help with the living space be more indoor outdoor, so the living room and the kitchen area can open to the deck, so it expands that indoor outdoor living feeling. So you're not going to see the piers under the deck. It's, it's strictly extra living space to get rid of some of the lawn, reduce the watering, and just make the exterior of the house more appealing from as a drive-by, view.
Okay, so we do, so we have finished floor of 585, basically and a half, and this is 581 and a half. So you have 4 feet here, and over here you've got more like 5 feet. So for what it's worth, if I'm reading this correctly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know that we measured. I don't know, when this survey was done. It doesn't really appear to be that tall, and I imagine that there will be some planting in front of it as well to help screen the apron of the deck.
Okay. Thank you. So let's get to comments from the board. Mr. Pujol.
Yes, I think it's a nice improvement of the house. I like the painting, the changing of the windows, going to be wonderful. And I have some comments regarding the, it's going to need some landscape plan, a little bit of landscaping, especially in front of the deck and around the deck. Regarding the deck, I think it needs a skirt, and we need better drawings. We need drawings that are accurate, like sections, instead of talk. We spend like maybe I was asking, trying to get to the point, because these things go really fast, but we're asking so many questions because the information provided is ambiguous and not complete. I think you need a section going through, this west elevation is good, but it's not accurate. And the section needs to go to the street, and then you figure out what, exactly what happens with the grade. The deck is going to need a skirt, and make sure that there are fireproof materials provided. Yeah, something like that. That's kind of more like the way it is. And another, so I would like some kind of landscape. It doesn't have to be very, something, just an explanation of what happens in the front. Another area that I think is a little bit awkward is the back, the porch in the deck in the north. Because they
lost you.
Oh, we cut off.
Alex, you just froze. So we'll see what happens there. You may have to restart. We'll come back to Alex. John Verdiak, why don't you take a spin?
More reason to be in person.
Poor Alex. He's frozen.
Well, I think that what Alex is saying is right. The drawings as shown don't accurately depict what's going on. So I think they should come back with the real grade shown on the elevations, and how many stairs would actually exist. I have really mixed feelings about extending the stick that far into the front setback. So I think we need, or I need further clarification. We'll put it that way.
Mr. Chair, looks like we have Alex back. You're back.
I'm not sure what happened. Maybe the Russian.
You froze.
Thought something happened. Okay, so Alex, we just heard from John. I don't know if you were hearing that or not, but I think, John, were you wrapped up? I think it sounded like you were about done, John. Okay, so Alex, if you want to continue.
Yeah, I think the other area I would like a little bit of improvements is in the north deck. Because the house is raised, those posts look really spindly and tall. Maybe they should be beefed up or have a base or have a double post or some braces or something that doesn't look.
I think that is an old drawing. Now, Tony,
hang on a second. This is some question and answer right now. We're just let Alex make his comments and then we can come back to that.
Again, I think it's a good project. It's just like, you really need to have the full presentation, really all put together. If you have a new drawing, you have to show the new drawing, have the better photographs ready available, and then we can move on. It's a good project. It just has there's some things that are not really worked out. I kind of share the idea that maybe that the deck is maybe too large for the location for the setting, but it's a good idea in general to have a deck like that. But and I would approve a modification. I would support that, but it does seem to be a little bit excessive, and I need some convincing that it is not. That's where I am. Maybe I'll drive through in the weekend. I will take a look and just to see. But I'm basically in support of the project. I just wanted a better presentation, more complete and more accurate.
Okay, Mr.
Respond to some of those comments?
No.
No, at the moment. Mr. Richards?
Yeah, so I agree with the concerns about the deck. I think there needs to be a study here too, how stairs are gonna work from going from the street up to the deck. I mean, there's an existing retaining wall, and I think there's an opportunity to have a really nice landscape in tandem with this entry to your new home. And that the study of how high the corners of the deck comes out of the grade, which Chris was kind of alluding to there, is important. And then maybe you find you want your front yard with 2 little retaining walls or something, so you can get some meaningful landscape in there. And your house has kind of a unique situation where the entry to the home faces one street and then you got your driveway on the other. And I think there needs to be a study how to kind of pull this all together, where if somebody parks in the driveway, how do they walk to the front of the home and what is that experience? And then on the elevations, the north elevation, I don't know if it's a drafting error, but the upper deck, which Alex was talking about, it looks like it should be centered. Go to sheet 3 there. I'm not sure why that upper deck is kind of canted off to one side. It just seems awkward that way.
Okay.
And then, and the garage door, I would encourage that with this style home, maybe just having the top panels as glass would be appropriate. Maybe do some kind of a infill on the bottom 3 panels. Just kind of reads really, I think it kind of conflicts with all the home. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Grubb.
I agree with all of those comments. That second story deck, it seems like it could be extended to if it's the north elevation to the east, because it does look odd off center. And I agree that the scope of the project warrants a landscape plan, at least for the front yard.
They got 2 fronts.
The deck side.
The dorking side.
Yeah, and then it's already been commented on for the stairs, so I'll agree with the previous comment on that.
Okay, Mr. Bloomer.
Can you go to, thank you, Mr. Chair. Can you go to the floor plan? There you go. I have a couple comments. Can you go back to the floor plan? Zoom out a little bit.
This one?
Zoom out a little bit, please. Thanks.
Sorry.
There you go. That's good. Just for the for planning staff, my comment, just to make it succinct, is study the entry and consider using a non-deck material like concrete or paving just at the entry area, and let the deck, let's see, well, let's just leave it at that. I'd like the applicant to study using a different material like concrete or stone to create the entry instead of the deck. And that's the comment. And I'll just kind of, by drawing on this, kind of explain my thinking. Is like this area here, feel like could be capitalized as part of the entry formally. And I feel like this stairway just doesn't feel like an entrance stairway. It feels like an auxiliary stair. I think it would be nice to see some kind of, stepping of materials down, or, some kind of interesting pattern like we see in a lot of nice contemporary projects of how you get to the front door instead of this just straight line to a kind of a straight stair. I also think the other comment I have is reduce railings where not necessary. So if we have 30-inch drops, I don't want to make this unsafe, but it just needs to be studied, like less, it doesn't need to be there if it doesn't need to be there. It appears based on what you've drawn on your elevations that if your elevation's accurate, you've got a lot of railing there that probably is unnecessary. So study reducing the amount of railings where not necessary is the comment. I don't have any problem with the deck. I understand the idea of it. I agree that the landscaping in the foreground and how the entry scheme from a landscaping standpoint and hardscape standpoint will greatly improve this project. The other comment I have is on the architecture. I believe, I'm going to make a quick note here. Just focusing on this entry and creating more of a punched element there might be advisable. So if you go to the elevations, please. Let me clear this off. The comment is to restudy the entry and create a more formal entry door. I think a house like this with the kind of windows you already have, it's probably appropriate to think about a side light here. And I would greatly appreciate seeing this area right here be kind of recessed back a bit so that there's a little covering over the door, and it just gives it more of a sense of entry and punch and shadow, instead of just plastering a door right on the end of that with these two little light fixtures. I think you could center up the light fixtures a little bit better on the outside and improve that entry scheme a little bit better. So that my comment to the planner is, planning, or to the notes, is just restudy the entry and create, look at options to create a more formal architectural scheme there. And then on the my last comment on the I'm kind of in agreement. Well, I'm actually in agreement with Alex and the others on this balcony. So I would say there's two options. I would say consider making this a Juliet balcony and just minimize it, because I've seen lots of people do these and they rarely get used, and it's kind of a blight to the architecture the way it's currently conceived. So, still create the opening, but if that's not preferable and you want to create it, I would say second option is to center this thing up maybe a little bit better, but mainly my bigger comment is to architecturalize the way it's standing on here. I'd like to see like at least a 24-inch by 24-inch column with some wood siding around it, and a deepening of the structure so it actually reads as a part of the building and not as this appendage. I don't think it looks right. So I'd say, add dimension, and I'm going to say like a 24 by 24-inch column, and a deeper architectural or detailing profile to the deck material and the, I don't know, what do you call this area? The support structure for the floor. I know you're trying to avoid hitting that window and putting something in front of it, so that's fine if you want to keep it where it's at, but I think it should be, like about that deep, and these columns should be a little thicker And then I think it reads as a part of the construction of the building. And if you want to pull one of those columns up to the corner here, you could, or you could do it the way you're doing it. But that's kind of my comment. That thing needs to be revisited. Just doesn't look good the way it is. I think in section it would be like that, and I think it'll fit right into that. So that's it. I don't have any other deference to any of the previous comments that were made. That's it. I also agree with Alex. I'm a little suspicious of this elevation here and how it's being shown. And so the deck skirting is a great idea, but we need to see a more accurate representation of the ground plane. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Well, there's a lot of comments there. I agree with most of what was said. I think first and foremost, we need the drawings to be accurate. That includes showing the existing elevations, as I kind of drew in there a while ago, so we can see where the deck, how tall it actually is, and also accurate color representation. I don't know why this is green if the house is supposed to be white. And accurate, finish grades, basically. And then also submit photos, basically just walk around the whole house from both streetscapes and just take photos back, not just on the Dorking side. I agree, the garage door, it faces right out to the street. You don't want to be lighting up the neighborhood. So I think we need a reduction in glass on the garage. And let's see, hold on. What else? Definitely a landscape plan if the deck is supposed to be, if it'll be as proposed, and accurate representation of the transition from the street to the deck and the front door. And then I think I was looking at this, kind of confused by what this is. Is that showing steps up to that door?
That's just the landing, yeah.
It's just part of the deck, because on the elevations.
I guess it should be there.
Yeah, I mean, elevation here, it just shows single step up from the driveway. And then, so the other thing is just, is we have differing, this shows the driveway maybe coming right off the deck. So you'd step up one step maybe to get up there. And then this doesn't show the edge of the driveway. So we need, or is this the edge of the driveway and is it changing? So we need some clarification on what's happening with your site. And then I won't rehash all the other comments, but I think you got a good idea of what we're looking for here. So any last minute additional comments? There was one other thing. On these elevations, there's a couple weird things happening with your fenestration. And I would just take another look, like these two windows being different. I don't know why. And then it's hard to tell, what are all these stripes happening? Is that supposed to represent?
Well, I guess we're looking inside the house.
Inside, okay. So, this is strange to me right here. So just take another look at your fenestration, and that's it. Again, last minute comments?
This is Alex. I just wanted to mention one thing. So we did have, the planner, Kevin, has provided some feedback to the applicant regarding the setback issue. For your benefit, a modification can only go up to 16.5 feet from the right of way. So as currently proposed, they're 3 feet beyond what a modification would allow, which would put them into the world of a variance, which is much harder to obtain than a modification. So, they have an option of either sticking with a modification, which would require them to pull the deck back 3 feet roughly, or pursuing a variance, which, as I said, would be a harder burden.
Yeah. So it seems to me that I would consider it. I'd consider pulling it back. With me, I mean, I'm having trouble with how big that is. I know you want an indoor, outdoor, and you're going to want furniture out there, but you're going to be elevated. What is it? 9 feet above the road, so you're looking down on everybody going by, and it's. I know the street. I know your neighbor, and it's a quiet street, so but just something to consider. And then I want to give the applicant I know you were trying to chime in there, give you a minute to respond to some of the questions if you still want to.
Yeah, thank you. Unfortunately, I got the incomplete letter from our planner, and I was working on making those changes, which would include a lot of the things that you spoke about. And but then we got on the schedule too quickly, so I thought we'd come in and at least get some feedback with what we have. And everything you guys said, I was kind of expecting, but I couldn't replace these drawings with the old drawings because I didn't have enough time to change the drawings before meeting. So that's on me. I apologize for that.
Okay.
And I just wanted to add, I think that Tony, that deck we had decided it was going to cantilever out. There wasn't going to be any post there. Am I incorrect?
Right. So that was not updated on these set of plans.
Okay. And then the other thing is the way, as Alex, as you had mentioned, with potentially pulling it back 3 feet, the way I understood the ordinance is that if you go above 32 inches, that's where you come into the situation where you have to get a modification or get a special permit for that. If the deck was less than 32 inches, then you don't need that. So,
well, you guys will work that out with your, that's not really for us to debate right now. I think you'll work that out with your planner.
The planner. Okay, so we'll work on that then separately.
Yeah. All right. So I think this would be a return for further conceptual for sure, and / preliminary. If we can get it right, then give you an opportunity to move ahead. Anyone object? Okay. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank
you. All right. That is it, folks. That was the shortest meeting we've had in years.
Before we go, can I get a motion to continue the last item to the first?
Sure. I'll make a motion to continue item 6, the Scheller edition, to the meeting of April 1st.
Second.
Second by Robert. And all those in favor, say aye.
Mr. Chair, just a quick, if I may, David, are you still with us?
Yes.
If it becomes, I assume you'll come back to us at the next meeting. If there's any unforeseen consequence of our decision to try and go back to an in-person meeting, and just again in the spirit of working together with you guys to overcome issues and put this on the right track, let's make some time for that discussion at the beginning of the next meeting. We can, if we need to make adjustments, we can. So I think we're kind of all surprised that we're actually the ones that had the decision in our hands the whole time. So I don't think anybody knew that, but
the timing wasn't right necessarily until now.
Yeah. And we're all just kind of waking up to this. So, we're not interested in just going headlong into this without, planning and consideration. So please, just do your best to organize on your end what you need and bring it back to us next week, and we'll open it up for some more discussion and figure out what's best. We definitely want to protect the applicant's timelines and approval process, and the whole point of this is to serve the public interest in the applicants and help the county do that. So
appreciate that.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah. All right. Anything else from anybody? Okay, someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Anyone opposed? Okay.
Anybody want to hang out? I propose we go to adjourn to the bar.
Yeah.
Bye,
everybody.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Alex, good job on consent. There was more consent.
Yeah, great job.
It was a very regular agenda today.